Well, does the Bible condone slavery or promote it? Yes and no. I want to keep these short. My real, apologetics things I'll leave for when I'm making a rebuttal to somebody else. I'll go really more in depth in that. But if you want, apologetics things and nice, quick, go check out Mad Love. But does the Bible condone slavery? Yes and no. When people usually say that, they're talking about slavery like in the 1700s, where you beat someone because they're less than you, and because they're property, and because you own them. If that's the type of slavery you believe that the Bible's talking about, then no. Let me give you 3 points as to why slavery in the Old Testament is not the same as slavery in the 1700s or any other time period. First, it was voluntary. Remember that. Voluntary. People freely chose to go into slavery. Slavery back then meant something way different. But number one, it was voluntary. They were not taken from their homes, taken away from their families, probably to never see them again, and be forced into labor for all of their lives. And that's where we get on to point 2. It was temporary. It was only for 7 years. And then they had an option to either go on with their lives and go do their own thing, or continue living with the family if they liked how the family was treating them and liked being with the family, I guess, And number 3, they were well compensated. They were paid for their hard work. But not to mention that, they didn't live in some tiny huts or something that the slave owner barely made from. They lived in the household with the slave owner. And they were fed well. And they were put into bedrooms where they slept well. They were not mistreated. In fact, God even said, if you even lay a finger, if you harm this person in any way, you have to let them go free. Pay them and let them go free. So, slavery in the Old Testament was not the same. And I can get even more in depth with it, but there's plenty of books you can get to help you understand that. Even if you're an atheist, know that slavery in the Old Testament is not the same as it is in the 1700s, because it just makes you look foolish when you say that. If you want to be a true intellectual, then you should know the truth. And whether or not you believe Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, is the Son of God, or that anything from the Bible is true, is a whole different story for another time. But don't misrepresent history by making slavery in the Old Testament seem different than from what it was. A good book I'd recommend if you want something more in depth is a book by Paul Copan called Is God a Moral Monster? Deals with the Canaanites and stuff like that, and the issues I talked about with slavery. Though if you want a good video on the Canaanites, go check out Mad Love. Shout out to you. And yeah, it's very early in the morning. Have a nice view. Thought it'd be nice. Check that out. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up. Sharing episode 10. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.